Hello, hello, hello.
Happy Taco Tuesday. Welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I'm Linda. That is Abby. We are here on a Tuesday, not a Monday. Because, life sometimes. But we're covering all things season 7, episode 6 of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way seems a bit dodgy. And if I tell you that this title is appropriate for everything that has happened to me today, it seems a bit dodgy.
Overall, have some inside details that you guys don't have. That makes it very funny. It's very juicy, but maybe Linda will share them one day.
Yeah, it won't be today. Overall thoughts of this episode.
We're finally getting some progression. So I'm glad about this episode. We're finally seeing some movement in the relationships and getting closer to, are they going to make it? Are they not going to make it?
Yeah.
And a new character.
Two new characters, and definitely progression, but also definitely red flag as far as I'm concerned. And a lot of just, you guys, do you not know each other? I don't understand. There's a lot I didn't understand in this episode, to be honest. And again, to piggyback off of what Abby has said in the past, the 90 days, you guys, is not to get to know each other. The 90 days is to plan your wedding. So this getting to know each other during the night, what have y'all been doing for the past little while? It's confusing to me. But let's get into it. So it's Greta and Matthew. Don't forget 27, 26, because I think age does play a factor in some of this, although I don't think age is a factor necessarily. But for this show specifically, I do think it is. She has spent this first day here abroad in England, and it's not going well, day one, between her and Matthew. And you can even see it on the screen, you guys. You see there's a bit of a disconnect, and you would think after not seeing each other for so many months that they would just want to be all over each other, tell me, what have I missed, and know your face and all the things, because I know that's how I would be. But she's feeling salty because he has not made space for her. He's not made her feel welcome. And then in comes Carolyn the mom, Mark the dad, Nellie the dog, Apple the cat. The whole family has come in to join, and the parents really welcome her and they make her feel comfortable. And I was like, did none of that pass off on Matthew? Verbally said, we love having you here. They think that she's his soulmate, and they call him Mr. Krabby or something like that, just cranky pants. And they see that he sparks up when she arrives, but that doesn't translate in how he's treating her thus far on day one, in my opinion. And the parents talk about how they made a meat-free zone for her because they know that she's vegan. They got her a gift, and it's a cake, a vegan cake with a cat topper. So, they thought about her, and they thought about her specifically. And Abby, I just didn't see any of that in Matthew.
Right. And I think, unfortunately, this is going to confuse Greta into, okay, I do feel welcome, despite the fact that he didn't do anything on his own. But it's not him making the welcome. It's his parents making the welcome. So I hope that she, even in her hurt regarding, family life in the past, I hope she can still separate that and not give him a pass just because the family was welcoming when he wasn't.
100%, because that was the next thing I was going to say, was that she starts saying how she's feeling this warm, happy family life, and normally that's not something that she's used to doing. She usually feels disconnected, and the passing of her mom at such a young early age, she really has not had this type of interaction. So I'm hoping that she is not feeling the void of, wow, the parents might be warm and happy, but you have to make sure that your fiance is doing the same things that are making you feel so welcome, right? Because once you move out of that house, it's you and your fiance, your future husband, who has done nothing in the last 3 months to help make you feel welcome. And I want to say more, but I'll leave it at that for now. Shout out to our regulars. Hey, Joslo. Hey, Raydella. Hey, fam. You guys don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already done that for this episode. So Greta's feeling unsettled. She feels like, the room was not prepared for her to feel welcome. And after the interaction with the family, even the family is thinking of her well-being. It's like, hey, you've been traveling all day. I'm sure you're exhausted. I didn't like, Abby, how Matthew's like, well, I'm exhausted too. And the mom was like, yeah, but Greta's been traveling all day. Like,
right. And you've been doing nothing.
Nothing. I didn't like how, we have to turn this back on you
Mm-hmm.
and make it about you. I didn't like that. And
right. That bid for attention, especially after you did nothing and they brought out the cake, and had special little hazel topper, like his bid for attention was very only childish.
I didn't like it at all. At all. And so she's explaining to him, they go to bed, she's explaining to him how she's feeling unsettled, how the room wasn't prepared for her, how that made her feel unwelcome. And he's like, well, what are you talking, how this bedroom feels like his room and not their room. And he didn't get it. He's like, well, I mean, if you want to make space for yourself, just move my clothes into the garage and put some of my clothes in the bin and put your clothes in the bin. I was like, this is what she's saying to you. So you want her to make space for herself in your room when she simply asked you to make space for her.
Right. So he's refusing to listen.
Refusing to listen, but also, Abby, she has to now make herself feel comfortable when all he had to do was make space for her. That, again, is selfish. In my opinion, it's very, very selfish.
I agree.
And then the next day, which is something that I don't like, because you guys, I think that, yes, knowing what your significant other likes and making them feel special is 100% a green flag. But if you are not communicating and you are doing something to make your partner feel special because you want to not talk about what the issue is, that's where I'm having a problem. So he didn't understand how she's feeling unsettled. So instead, he's like, oh, surprise, day 2. I'm going to welcome you by having a surprise spa day for you. And he takes her to the spa. And even then, it wasn't like he was doing it out of the goodness of his heart. It really wasn't, you guys, because here's what happens. They go in and they sit down. They're like, oh, this is going to be relaxation and spa and lovely. But immediately they start talking about having spas regularly. Greta's used to having a spa day once a week, or at least a massage once a week. And then Matthew turns it into, well, you're not going to be working. I'm fine with being the breadwinner, but we need to have realistic caps on things. And he's like, I don't mind paying, but we have to make sure that we're paying for the right things. And when I say my spidey senses went up, she's like, listen, I don't ask you for a lot of stuff. Like, I really don't. And so I don't want this to be who appreciates who more and who's sacrificing what for more. I want it to be about us. And I'm not asking for a lot. And you're the one who said that you were fine with being the breadwinner. And it's not like she's a scrub. She's an attorney. She just needs to do the steps in order to be able to practice in England. And until then, you were like, oh, I'm cool being the breadwinner. But instead, like, I'm the breadwinner. You need to have some realistic caps on things, which means to me that he wants to be able to control the money. Right? So she's going to have no money, you guys, and he's going to control what she can and cannot do. That's a scary place as far as I'm concerned. So then they talk about the spa versus the things that he spent money on that are his things. He bought a bigger, better computer. He bought a bigger, better engine for his car. And she mentioned that. And she's like, well, I'm not sure what you think is realistic caps, because did you need a bigger engine? Did you need a bigger computer? And he's like, well, those things we both benefit from. You can drive my car. you can use the computer, but what do I benefit from you going to the spa? I was like, if you all don't think that that's a red flag, because she even said having a happier and healthier partner, that's what you're getting out of me going to the spa. And he just that, Abby, I was like, oh no.
Oh, absolutely. So this, in conjunction with his inability to make her feel welcome and say, well, you can clear out the drawers, you can move my clothes, made me think what a nightmare he would be as a partner if they did have kids. He would be the kind of person to say, well, I will help if you just tell me what to do. He wouldn't show any initiative to be the person to help prepare things for the kids, to help prepare things for school, you know. And God forbid she have any kind of complications. He would be a terrible postpartum partner with helping her to be comfortable and recover. You know, I know that's a conversation that they're going to have later, whether or not she actually wants to do that. But all I could think about in this conversation is if he does not care about her mental health and emotional well-being, get out now, Greta.
That, and if he's going to use finance as a manipulation tool, this is not a good sign. Not a good sign.
Absolutely. And you can't call yourself a breadwinner. This is my personal definition. If you can't take care of my personal finances, then you can't call yourself a breadwinner. You can be a partner. We could be financial partners. We could be financial roommates, but you're not a breadwinner unless you're covering my expenses and the household expenses.
And just to jump off on that, if you want the traditional roles of the male and female relationship, marriage, and you are the breadwinner and Greta's the one that's taking care of the home. Part of taking care of the home is she gets to do whatever. So she needs to go to the spa because she's taking care of the kids, the house, the food, then guess what? She gets to go to the spa. She gets to go to get her nails done. She gets to go to do all those things because you guys have defined that these are our traditional roles. So what you're not about to do is then go ahead and try to force her into a situation where you're now also manipulating her. You are telling her, no, I'm capping you at this. She's not your child. You're not putting her on oh, this is going to be your budget for the day, or I'm going to give you, I can't think of the word at the top of my head, but your allowance. Like, that's not how that works as far as I'm concerned. And then for him then to go on and take it a step further and say that he basically made career choices because he knew that he had to be the breadwinner for her. And she's like, what? I thought you got into finance because you love finance. Don't do something that you didn't want to do because you think that you need to provide for me, because I never said that. And then he's like, no. I just thought, quote, you don't appreciate how much I give to this relationship. Excuse me?
That came out of nowhere. That's a huge rock that he just threw in between them. Because what was that? That whole entire, I chose a career to be a breadwinner for you. You didn't appreciate what I do for you. This is all a reaction to her just saying, I don't feel welcome because you didn't make space for me to put my clothes. He's having a lot of big emotions and feelings that he's refusing to deal with on his own, and he's foisting them off on Greta.
100%. And what exactly have you done? Because as far as I know, she left her whole entire life and her career that she studied very hard to get to be with you because you two love each other. So what did you do? You live at your mama's house. You started your career before you met her, so I'm not sure what you were even talking about. You were the one that proposed to her. You knew that she wouldn't be able to work for the first little while, and you said you were fine taking care of the bills. And how many bills can you really have when you live at home with your parents? So, like, and your parents are the ones that clearly are bringing out food. They brought out the cake, all the things. You had a dresser. You don't even have a closet that I saw. You had a rolling rack with all your stuff all piled all over the place. I'm just trying to figure out what sacrifices and how much have you done that you feel like she's not appreciative.
Maybe we'll see in the future, because so far I do not see what he's changed about his life at all to accommodate her.
I don't see it either at all. So let's see. We're on episode 6, so maybe somewhere down the line we'll see it. What up, Michelle? Hi, Ryan. Ryan says, these two act like they just met a month ago and decided to live together. Facts. Let's move on to Meline and Luke. I'll let you start. What were your overall thoughts of their scene this episode?
Luke is a liar. And Meline is just, this is all my speculation. I think she's just in a position, because of the way that she grew up, where she has to look out for herself financially first and foremost above everything. And that's causing her, because she doesn't know the truth of his situation, to look past some of his behavior. Because this should have been wrapped up. This should have been over. But I think that she's trying to find her white whale.
I agree with everything you just said. However, I do think in this episode specifically that she's 100% toxic. And I'll tell you why as we move through it. I just don't understand what happened here. And again, it could just be me, and you all can explain it to me, but I just thought that she was over the top and toxic in this situation. So she was mad at him from lying about the money thing and saying that he sent it and she spent it on something else and blah, blah, blah. So they had no intimacy the night before, even though they hadn't seen each other for like 3 months, because she was upset. And the next day she decided that she was going to forgive him. They're going to go to taste cake for the wedding, and they're going to figure out like which cake they're going to have, right? So they try a vanilla with red berries. They try red velvet with white chocolate, and a pistachio with passion fruit. Did any of those sound delicious to you?
The pistachio with passion fruit, I would love to try that. Now, I have a friend who makes fun of me because I love pistachio anything. He calls it an old lady flavor. But that sounded so good. You look like you did not like that. Did not sound good to you.
None of them sounded great to me. First of all, I don't like red velvet. A pistachio cake is the whole cake pistachio with sponge and like I would have to try it. Like I'm open to trying it. I just couldn't conceptualize it in my mind.
Have you ever had the Talenti pistachio flavor?
No.
Okay, so that's what I'm envisioning. That flavor of pistachio, not actually like chock full of nuts, and then a filling of the maracuya, the filling of the passion fruit. I feel like because the pistachio is so nutty and creamy, and then having that tart, fruit in the middle. I think that one would be bomb.
Yeah, none of these stood out to me, but what do I know about wedding cakes? Nothing. So they sit down, they're trying it. Madeline's not a fan really of the vanilla, or she kind of likes it, but she thinks it's basic. Red velvet, she doesn't like it all. And then we didn't really get to get her reaction on the pistachio, because Luke does this half apology thing where, they're feeding each other cake, they're in the moment, and he's like, I love you, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he's only buttering her up because he wants to tell her something, and he's scared to tell her. And she's like, just tell me, like, what is it? What is it? Spit it out. Just tell me what it is. And he's trying to tell her about the bachelor party that she forbade him to have. And, he's like, I went to David's house. They threw a small bachelor party for me. And there was a stripper that came over. She danced for me. And Meline freaks out, pushes him, throws cake all in his face, storms out, starts crying. And this is where I feel she was toxic. You should never put your hands on anybody. And again, you guys, if you go back into like episode 1 and 2, I just don't understand what the big deal about a bachelor and a bachelorette party is. If you truly trust your partner, that's going to be your life partner. So you go to the club, you see people all the time. You get hit on all the time. You have a bachelor or a bachelorette party and it's all like dances and all this stuff. It's just entertainment if you are secure in your relationship. So for her to freak out, put hands on him, throw cake in his face, then say it's over, how she's lost 2 years of her life. She's sitting in her car crying, calling people. She doesn't like him around other women. And then when he goes after her and apologizes, she's like, how can I ever trust you again? You knew who I was. The wedding is canceled. She takes off her ring. I was like, what? Like, am I missing something? Because that seems over the top to me. And it just seems so toxic.
I'm going to defend Meline. And you can disagree with me. Well, you will disagree with me. The comments will probably disagree with me this time too, even though you guys normally love me.
Never disagree with you. So go on.
There's almost nothing that Meline can do that will ever make me be on Luke's side. And the reason why is because he preyed on her for her age. And I don't expect her to act like a person with a fully developed frontal lobe because she isn't of that age. So that's number one. Number two, he set her up for failure. He knows that she does not feel secure in this relationship because of his past behavior. And instead of him, number one, being fully responsible for what he did, because he could have turned around and said, Meline doesn't want me to do this. I agreed that I would not do this, so I'm leaving this party. But he didn't do that. Instead, he set her up for failure by having her in a public place, trying to butter her up in a place where she is trying to create memories of this life that they're going to go into and this event that's supposed to be very special. And you want to tell her something devastating that you agreed you wouldn't do on top of this special occasion that she's trying to create to get back to being in a good place with you. That's not setting your partner up for success when you need to tell them something that you've done that's wrong, because you're not being fully accountable for what you've done, and they're not in a place where they can receive this information well.
Okay, so what did he do?
He previously chatted with another woman in Colombia while they were in a relationship.
Yeah,
and
I know.
This part I may be wrong about, but either made plans to meet up with her or actually met up with her when he was supposed to be visiting Meline on an occasion. That I may not have correct, but there was some infidelity that he agreed, okay, in order to have you trust me again and for us to move forward, I will not do X, Y, and Z. One of those things was not having a stripper at a bachelor party. And not only did he have a stripper at a bachelor party, he fully engaged in activities that he knows she would be very upset by with that stripper.
I guess I just don't get it. I guess I think that if you're that insecure in your relationship, then you shouldn't be in that relationship, and you shouldn't definitely be getting married. If you don't trust your partner like that and clearly have not forgiven for whatever past indiscretions may or may not have happened, then you shouldn't be getting married. You should not be putting your hands on and pushing your partner. You should not be throwing cake in your partner's face. And so this whole situation to me, yeah, it could be her age. Yeah, he could have not set her up for success. I'm not agreeing with Luke because I think that, you know, Luke has a lot of issues, but Meline has some issues herself. And I think maybe she is too young to say, hey, I want to get married. And I think it's interesting that you said the white whale, because I do think money is important to her. I think status is important to her. I think owning things and material things are very important to her. And that's why you see her being so, and great, she's a small business owner. and he contributed to that, but she made it flourish. But the car, the nails, the hair, all the things, there's nothing wrong with wanting the finer things in life. But if she's thinking that Luke is the one that's going to be providing these things, she should look at the red flags that are popping up right now, because clearly he doesn't have it. And so they're going to have the same issues pop up in the relationship over and over again, because she's expecting one thing. She wants the sugar daddy, and she's willing to provide the sugar, but she wants to make sure that that money is flowing freely. He wants the trophy, beautiful, hot Hispanic wife to show up and to be all those things. And there's a disconnect there, because he doesn't have some of the things that she requires, and she does not want to do really some of the things that he's going to require. So it's going to be an issue, I think. Mm-hmm. Now, side note, Abby, and live chat, this is a side note, because I'm like, did I miss the memo? But these dangling earrings that the dudes are wearing. So Luke had a couple of dangling earrings on, and then the new lady's nephew, oh, what's his name? Nick had a is that a thing for guys now, the dangling earrings? Because I'm not a fan at all.
I don't know, like, it was hot when Prince did it, but for some reason, I think it depends on if I like the guy or not. So since I don't care for most of these guys, I just don't like him.
You guys, I don't know. I was like, I literally said, those dangling earrings on him are distracting me. That was my note for Luke. I finally get past Luke, and then Nick comes along, and Nick's hair and the dangling earring. I was like, did I miss the fashion memo? Because I haven't seen anyone else doing this, but I mean, maybe it's a thing and I just missed it. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I don't know. You're in LA, so if you haven't seen it as a fashion thing with people walking around, then maybe they're trying to bring it back from the 80s.
I mean, I don't know. Let us know what you guys think if you're watching the live or in the replay. Let's talk about the danglings on the guys, the dangling earrings, because I don't know. I just don't know. Do we want to say anything else? But I'm not a fan either, Joslo said. And Ryan says, Meline doesn't need him anymore. Luke gave her startup funds for her business, and it's thriving. She knows he's broke and makes bad business decisions, so why hang on, Fat?
I don't think she knows that he's broke yet. We know it because we saw all the conversations between him and his father. But I don't think, like, she knows that he didn't have the money she wanted to go towards the wedding, and he's saying, like, all I have for the wedding is X amount. But I don't really think she knows the depth of his depths. Like, she doesn't know how much credit card debt he has, and can't know, because the credit card system in the US it doesn't exist in other parts of the world. So you can see, this is how passport men are able to make it over on these women in other countries. They see them spending all of this money and think, oh, you have a lot of money, but no, a lot of it's just credit card debt.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ryan says, hard pass on the dangling earrings. Girl, you're not wrong. George Michael, I feel like, I don't know, the 80s. I don't know.
Exactly, like George Michael could do it, Prince could do it, but what else is different about those two men? We liked them.
Yeah.
Like, if any time it's somebody that you like, they could get away with things that somebody you don't like can't.
I just thought it was distracting to me, you guys. I didn't like it. I was like, what's happening right now? Why is he sparkling? Move his head and they would like dangle and move. I was like, what is happening? Then he had cake in his face, and it was a mess.
So you were looking at all that cake smashed all over his face, and you're like, the earring.
I was like, and there were two of them. It was like both ears. I was like, are those Madeleines? Like, what is happening here? And they're sparkling. Are those diamonds? Should you hawk them?
Mm-hmm.
you had to, the only $3,000 you had was from your dad. Like, I don't understand why you have sparkles in your ears and you don't have sparkles in your pockets.
Hey, why do you have sparkles in your ears and no sparkles in your pocket? Stamp it. That's right, Ryan. They had swag. They had Riz. Luke does not have swag nor Riz.
Okay, well, I'll say what all the kids are saying right now. And I spent like a month with my nephews and nieces, but they'd be like 6'7", 6'7", 6'7", which is exactly how I feel about this. 6'7". All right, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Sadhna. Okay, oh yeah. This is not about Sadhna, but that's who I always think it's about. This is about Jenny and Sumit.
Mm-hmm.
Jenny, we didn't get a lot from them. We got like 3 minutes. Jenny thought everything was going to be okay with his family. She now realizes she was wrong. His extended family, Sumit's extended family, has just negative vibes and thoughts about Jenny, and she's worried. She's like, so I live here now. Every time they're going to come over, this is going to happen. They're going to be talking crazy to me and telling me all the things that even me as a viewer, y'all are 15 years deep. You're 15 years too late. Why are we still doing this? Why are we still doing this? Then Sumit is like, I don't care what others are saying. I love you. I think you're a great woman. And one of the things that I thought was beautiful was that, my mom was sticking up for you. And so let's just go with that. And Jenny's like, well, I'm worried that these family members are going to influence her back to her bad behavior. And I get that. But what we're not about to do is we're already in 15 years, y'all. I'm not spending a whole season with these Yahoo family members, extended family members who we haven't even really seen over the years come through and talk about what we've all already worked through. That's what we're not about to do.
Exactly.
We know
your time for objections has come and gone, Auntie.
Has come and gone. And gone and gone is going to stay gone. Period. Mm-hmm. We already know Jenny's old. We already know that Sumit is younger than her. But what we also know is they've been together through all the nonsense. Through him getting married, not telling her, him catfishing her, him not working, him failed business number 1, almost failed business number 2. Not keeping a job, not keeping a home, and now full circle, they're all moving in, living under his mama's house. I mean, and she stayed with him. She's not going anywhere. So what we're not about to do is talk crazy to Jenny, who's probably been the only stability in his life. That's what we're not about to do. We already know that she's 67 years old. She can't change that fact. He chose her. Here we are, period. If you can't deal...
Wait, did you say she was 67?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Oh, okay. I thought she was older. Okay.
I mean, that's what it says. 67 and him 36.
So she's 6. So she was, when all of this started, she was still in her 50s?
She was older. I tried to do the math. I did the math in one of the previous episodes. She was like in her 50s and he was barely in his 20s when they first met.
Okay. All right.
Yep, so that's all we got. Do you want to add anything else to these?
No. No.
All right, this episode 6, we meet 2 new characters. And I'll go with you first, Abby. Thoughts?
Listen, I learned something new watching this. I kept asking myself, why does she keep preferring... I'm going to deepen the Americans are ignorant comments, but why does she keep using Tasmania and Australia interchangeably? Because in my mind, Tasmania is its own country. So I looked it up and found out that Tasmania is actually a part of Australia. Did you guys all know that?
I did.
I did not know that. I was like, why does she keep using Tasmania and Australia interchangeably? And it's like, in my mind, it's the country where, vampires come from.
is Hawaii part of United States of America?
If you ask them, no. If you ask Native Hawaiians, no. They
Okay.
are a colonized island.
I mean, that is another conversation because Australia has its own colonizer history, but no, it's the same idea. Okay. Do you want to add something else to them at all?
No. Let's go ahead into the story. I feel okay. I will add something. I feel like this introduction is not really giving us a lot of insight into what are the reasons why they weren't successful in the past. So I am hoping that as we get to know them, that we'll find out, well, why hasn't it worked before?
This introduction gave me way too many questions. Too many questions. The timeline is not timing for me. The reasons why they're not together is this. Okay, so first of all, Patia, you are beautiful. Patia is 58 years old, out of Dallas, Texas. She's gorgeous, you guys. 58. We could all just be so lucky. She looks amazing. Okay, Dylan's 38. And the timeline is not working for me, but I'll get through this. So my note literally says she looks good. She goes by Chalita as an exotic dancer. She's been an exotic dancer since 1989, when she was 21 years old, and 37 years older. 37 years later, she's still shaking it. And when I say she looks amazing, you guys.
She does.
Amazing. Dancing makes her happy, makes her feel youthful, makes her feel energetic, and that's why she still does it. And then we meet Dylan, who's 38, out of Tasmania, and he is a plumber. And I love learning like the new words, like a dunny is a toilet in Australia. And they tricked me because so he had his like plumber outfit on, a Mac jacket, some jeans, whatever, his little plumber belt. And then he was walking into what looked like a restaurant and then said, "Oh, your pipes are broken." And all of a sudden he rips open his shirt. What's happening right now? And to find out that he's not only a plumber, but he too is a male stripper in Australia and got discovered by Australia's Got Talent, made it all the way to the finals, you guys. And then the Thunder from Down Under came and collected him and brought him to Las Vegas so that he could be the MC for that show. And that's where he met Patia, because she was living in Vegas at the time. So yes, she's from Texas. She went through a brutal divorce, got away from Texas to kind of rebuild her life, ended up in Vegas, was dancing, exotic dancing. So one exotic dancer meets another exotic dancer. He apparently fell for her immediately, invited her to his show, connected, loved her, all the things. And he literally said on this episode, he only wants to be with her. And then this is where it all got twisted for me. So they've been together for 12 years. And not only have they been together for 12 years, Dylan and Patia used to live together in Las Vegas for 7 years. Okay. Then he had to move back to Australia because some visa stuff. And I was like, so then why didn't you guys get married at that point? Instead.
I have a suspicion. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Nevada is one of the only states. It is the only state that has legalized prostitution. And although it's legal there, it is still a violation of federal immigration law. So when they noted his visa issues, my mind was like, I wonder if he was found to have violated his visa by participating in anything that USCIS would consider prostitution. And that is the reason why he had to leave And it appears as though after he left, he never came back.
Well, and that was something else that is confusing to me, because if you were living in Vegas and you were part of this whole cabaret with Thunder Down Under, because that was a big thing for many years, then I don't understand why you had to move back, and then an option for you is not to come back to the US. Like, that hasn't been mentioned. Instead, Patia has to move to you. Like, I'm just that
was my, yeah. So that was what I was thinking, because they also mentioned that they tried to relocate to a different country as well, but he never came back to the US. So that was what was in my mind. And keep in mind that I'm not saying that he was a prostitute. I'm just saying that he could have participated in activities that USCIS would consider prostitution, which is a wide range of things. So I'm just suspicious of whether or not that was an issue.
Yep. And then, so now she's gonna pick up all her life. She's gonna, I guess, retire from exotic dancing. She's gonna move to Tasmania, and she's never been there. And so I was like, you're moving there and you've never been there? Ladies, I just highly don't recommend that. Like, go ahead and take a trip and see where you're moving to. How do you get up and move? Not even just visit, you just get up and move, and you've never been to a place. I don't think you're setting yourself up for success, because you know nothing about it. Yeah, you can do all your research, but actually being in a place versus looking at it online or reading about it are two separate and completely different things. Believe me. So that didn't make sense to me. And then, okay, so timeline. They've been together for 12 years. They lived together for 7 of those years. And then he went back to Australia because of visa issues. And then 4 years ago, they moved to Thailand to be together. And it didn't even last a year because they were always fighting. He said that, again, this is a second situation in this episode where the man's like, I will financially provide for you. And then he was not financially providing for her. And then they started fighting. And one of the biggest conversations, fights, arguments in a relationship is money, is money, is money. Right? She's expecting one thing. He's expecting something else. They have not met on equal ground. So guess what? She decides that it's over and moves back to the United States. And now, fast forward, she's going to still move. She's going to move to Tasmania and give it one more shot because she loves him, and he keeps coming back to her and saying that, you know, he doesn't want to be with anyone else. But she's tired of the back and forth and is crying because she really feels she's giving up a lot to be with him for the second time, because she already did this, you guys, when she went to Thailand to live with him. And then this is the icing on the cake that I was like, oh, girl, no. You are too old and too beautiful to be doing all of this and having all these doubts. She said, Abby, they've broken up in the last 12 years 20 times. 20 times. And in those 20 times, she's picked up and left her whole entire life to be with them. He's left her after living together for 7 years. You all broke up 20 times. What makes this 21st time different? Did someone go to therapy? Did you all work on your issues? Have you talked about money? Because what are you going to do when you go there? How are you going to continue to be the independent woman that you seem to be? Where are you all going to live? How are you going to get around? Who's paying the bills? How are you going to occupy your day? Like, I just feel like, who did you have any of these conversations? Because you guys aren't starting on equal 0-0 ground. You all broke up 20 times. You know, the ratio is terrible. 20 times in 12 years.
Right. And we didn't hear, or at least I didn't hear, what has happened, you know, what's changed about your life or your situation that is going to make things better this time.
That's what I just said. Has someone gone to therapy?
Yeah.
Did you guys
Nothing.
What's changed that's going to make 21st time different than all other 20 times? And then the cherry on top of the icing is that we found out 3 years into living together Dylan proposed to Patia, but then took the ring back.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Couldn't be me.
mm-hmm.
It could not.
Under what circumstances would somebody take a ring from you and you would consider getting back in a relationship with them?
Are you asking me that question?
I'm asking you, under what circumstances does someone propose to you and you begin your engagement and begin planning a wedding and they say, no, 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 I want my ring back. This is not going forward. Under what circumstances can they ever be a part of your life again?
So I will share with you guys a little bit of what April and I talked about before we came on air. I may be the problem because 0.0 circumstances would that happen. What I'm not about to do is live 7 years with someone. 7 years we're I can't even speak. We're cohabitating in the same house, sharing all the household responsibilities as if we were a married couple. And then 3 years into it, my boyfriend, who I've lived with for 3 years, proposes, and then somewhere in that time frame, he takes the ring back, and I still take him back, and then we break up 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? Absolutely 0.00000 times, Abby. 0.000 times would I be the person that takes anyone back. If you proposed to me and took the ring back, go ahead and pack it up because I've already moved on. I've moved on. I don't even block people. Well, that's not true. I blocked one person, but adios, salut, arrivederci.
You're out of there.
Absolutely. That's it. We're done. We're done.
I'm not even giving the ring back. I'm going to just take it to consignment and take a little vacation with whatever money I get from it.
Y'all are, you know what? You guys are better than me. That's all I know. Better than me because it could not be me. And maybe that's why, I'm not married yet because not me, friend.
I mean, in a way, like you're saying like, oh, I'm the problem. I'm the reason I'm not being married. In a little bit of a like it's a bad, like it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing that you're not willing to compromise yourself in these ways. But unfortunately, the way marriage is set up right now, it's not for the benefit of independent women who have ideas and opinions and thoughts. It's for the benefit of men. And so unless you're willing, in a lot of circumstances, to forego some of your independence and drive, then it does actually keep you from marriage.
Listen, y'all, all I know is I'm too old to be a baby mama. Like so we're gonna either have to be together and be together to like proper partners or not. But I can't settle for nonsense right now because I just know too much. Do you know what I mean? My grown age.
Absolutely.
I know too much. If I was 19, maybe I'd be like, okay, you go.
I'll give him a try. We'll see how. Yeah, that makes sense when you're 19, 20, 21. But at this age, I think, there's space for incremental change. But at this age, for the most part, people are who they are.
Yeah. And again, we can always learn and grow. I'm not saying that because that's something that should be a lifelong thing. What I'm saying is that I can't settle for nonsense.
Right. And I don't want to be a teacher in a relationship.
At your grown age, if you're over 35, then you should know better. Mm-hmm. And still learning, but you should know better than
right. I agree.
You should at least know some things. Anyways, her nephew Nick comes to visit her. They're gonna cook and talk about the relationship that he really knew nothing about because he's never met Dylan. Again with the dangly earring. So you guys, that's all I have on Nick because I got distracted. Because then I started thinking about dangly earrings. And so when Patia started crying about the wedding and getting married and giving him one last chance, I kind of tuned out because Nick's earring was sparkling in my eyes. So do you want to add anything else to that?
You guys, I don't think Nick is her nephew. I know. I know. It's why am I even thinking about this? I just don't. They were living together for 12 years, and this is your favorite aunt, and you never met him. And but it was so important that she's going to Tasmania that you immediately booked a flight to come and see her, but you didn't meet this man in 12 years. Like,
Yeah.
unless they give us some kind of story of why he wasn't around that 12 years that she was living or in a relation, or 12 years she was in a relationship with him, 7 years they were living together, something like that. So 7 years they were living together, right? Unless we have some kind of story, he was out of the country on some military assignment that whole time. That's why they didn't meet. I don't believe it. I also didn't, it didn't look family to me the way he was comforting her physically. That didn't feel family. I don't know every single culture, so maybe I'm completely wrong about that. But that felt more like, it looked to me more like former person who used to visit me a lot at the strip club that I worked at.
Yeah, I agree with that vibe that you got, because I was like, your nephew who you haven't seen in a long time, she said, is coming over and flew out. Everything you just said, I was like, that doesn't make sense, because your favorite auntie is your favorite auntie because you hang out with them and you see them all the time and you do fun things together and they know all about your life, and you have, you know, auntie, nephew, auntie, niece, like vibes. I didn't get that at all from these two. I got more like, hey, we used to be neighbors. I kind of need someone to fill in this filler time while I'm cooking. Can you come over and be that person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be more innocent. I went a little bit different direction, but definitely not auntie and nephew.
That's it for episode 6, you guys. Definitely let us know your thoughts if you're watching the replay. Let us know your thoughts in the live chat. And I guess my question of the day, of the day is, if your partner proposed to you and took back the ring, what would you do? If your partner proposed to you and then took back the ring, what would you do? That's it.
I would love to see you guys' answers. Meet us in the comments.
You guys, we'll see you on Friday. Have an amazing rest of the week. I think it might be too late for some of y'all, but in America, some of y'all states were voting. I hope you went and voted today, because every vote counts.
Then we've got till 9, where it's only 8 here on the East Coast, so you haven't voted yet. Go out and get it done.
Go get
Not
it
me,
done.
though. Not me, though. I don't live in a state. Everybody else, go vote.
We'll see you on Friday. Bye.
Bye-bye.